Hey, welcome to Kate Crafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you episode 3 of my birthday card series. Let's get started. To kick things off, I have Distress Oxides and Squeezed Lemonade, Cracked Pistachio, Salvaged Patina, and then we'll get into a little bit of Wilted Violet in a minute. Now all I'm doing is just going back and forth on this dot stencil. I believe this was a Michaels brand stencil. They come in a pack of 3. I don't know if it has a distinct name on it, but I mean you could use any kind of little polka dotted stencil for this or not. It's what I had, and I thought this would be fun to use since I haven't used it in a while. So all I'm doing is just going back and forth with my colors, and I figured these colors would look nice together and blend relatively well with the yellow on top and the kind of bluish green on the bottom, and you know, this cracked pistachio to kind of keep the variant between the two kind of cohesive, I guess. I don't know, I was worried about how it would blend the Salvaged Patina and the yellow, and I really like the Salvaged Patina. I think it's a very versatile color, especially like with pinks or with other blues, you know, even yellows. I just think it's a really pretty color. And actually when I had gotten it, it was like one of the last of my collection that I'd gotten, because every time I would go to find it, it would be either sold out or, you know, not in stock or on back order. And when I finally did, it was like, oh, thank goodness. Now I could see what all the hubbub about this one was about, because it is a very pretty color. It's like a blue, but more of a green blue, I guess. The sky blue. I don't know how to explain it. It's darker than the tumbled glass, but not as dark as like the blueprint sketch kind of thing. I think that would be the correct one. I don't know. Maybe not listen to me. So anyway, I should probably tell you a little bit about this birthday card series that I've going on. July and June are always a busy month for me for birthday cards, and I do try to record all the cards that I do make, unless they are custom made and for a specific person, and you know, I don't generally film those, but sometimes I will if I have their permission. And what had happened is I ended up with a lot of birthday card videos, and I thought, well, I might as well make use for them, right? So that's what we got here. And if you haven't yet, I've got videos 1 and 2 already out. If you'd like to see those, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. I will have a playlist with all of these together if you want to start from the beginning or just bounce around. So all I'm doing here is using some Wilted Violet to go around the edges, just to give it a little bit of interest. I mean, you don't have to do this step. I was just kind of going big or going home kind of thing, because I like to do a little extra. I don't do simple. I have a hard time with simple cards. Yeah, clean and simple cards scare the crap out of me. I always feel that I don't have enough, or it's too much, and then it just kind of turns into a busy card. So simple is always a struggle, and this card is not very simple, but it is simple. You'll see. It was actually a birthday card for my mother, and yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit different with this. So here we've got a Distress Oxide spray in Wilted Violet. It's the only Distress Oxide spray I had. I believe I got that one from Beatniks. And then we have this teal color in the Dylusions Pearl Spray. And then we will go in with a little bit of the Dylusions White Pearl Spray. I don't know the technical names for them. They're just, I couldn't remember, so it's just off the top of my head. Don't quote me on it. So next I have this Fawn glitter embossing powder that I'm just going to go all over because my card panel is still wet, and I thought this would be fun to have like little chunks of glitter, like not chunks, but like spots of glitter where the ink was still wet. And then once I'm happy with how much I've got on there, I'll just go ahead and tap that off a little, add a little bit more, and then we will come in with the heat tool. But first I gotta put this away, otherwise I'm gonna have it all over the place, which if I'm not careful, I do. So I try to put these things away, and that way I don't have big of a mess. So I'm going ahead and melting this from behind, just so I don't have a whole lot of glitter blowing all over the place. and then I'll go ahead and hit that from the front. I've got this sped up quite a bit, so it doesn't take me this short a time to heat emboss. Actually, it takes me quite some time, because if I do too much heat embossing with this Recollections brand heat tool, it doesn't work anymore because it's overheated, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know if you guys have any other recommendations for heat embossing tools that don't always heat up as bad as this one does, but it's what I have to work with. So here all I'm doing is just trimming these down around the edges because I would like a bit of a border around my card. I end up going back in and trimming off a little bit more later off camera, but you'll see. And this happy birthday I got from I think it's the scrapbook samplers pack that I was getting every month last year. It was pretty good. I forget how much it was, but it worked out to like only $15 to $18 per package that you got every month in the mail. And for starting out, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know what this year's samples are, like what they're offering, but last year they offered a lot of dies like this, like the shadow dies, and I really appreciated them because it's not something I think to ever buy, but it kind of introduced me to the shadow dies, which I do have an appreciation for. So all I'm doing here is going in with some B32, and I'm just going to do a bit of a gradient with this because I liked the blue that I had, but I felt that it was kind of a little lost on the card. So I thought I would darken it up with the B32 and now with the B34, just to give it a variant, you know. I don't know, this is a very, again, simple card, but with a lot of extra going on. Again, I don't do simple very well, as you can see. So once we've got all that done, then I'll go back in with another one just to kind of blend out the middle. That's the same B32. I find that it lightened up a bit of the gradient, so it wasn't so much of a contrast between the two colors. So once that's done, we are going to take some of my glue, and we're going to glue that down to the glitter cardstock that I have here. Now the glitter cardstock is from a 12 by 12 paper pack that I got from Michaels, so this is probably Recollections brand. I've had it for probably 2 years now, and I use it. I don't use it often, but I use it enough, or at least I have, and I'm always worried about running out, even though I know Michaels has got it, but it's not cheap, that's for sure, so I try to pick and choose what I use with what, and I like it because it's kind of got a pink iridescence to it, and it's kind of pretty, so I'll put that with a block on it and let it dry, and then we'll come back after I've had some time away from the desk, and then we're going to figure out where we're going to put this. Now, I wanted this to be different. I didn't want it to be simple in the sense of you do all this ink blending, then you slap on your sentiment and, you know, be done with it. I wanted to give it a little extra pizzazz. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down again, like I had mentioned earlier. Like, I thought I did this off camera, but I guess I didn't. And we're just going to bring this edge down just a little bit more, which I'm not too upset about because I did go heavy-handed around the edge with that Wilted Violet and then kind of blended it inward. So this doesn't give it as harsh of an edge to it, if you will. And I'm just thinking here, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I'm going to bring in my card base, and we're going to trim it down a bit, and we're going to create like a fun fold card. Although it's not actually a fun fold card. I don't know what you would classify this card as. I thought it was kind of fun in the sense of how I'm folding it. It's just a A2 size card that I've cut half the panel off. Or not half, maybe like a quarter, 2/3. I don't know. I'm not very good with fractions. I'm just going to cut less than 2 inches off here. And then that way I could get a bit of a border around my card. So you could see there. And then what I'll do is I will just line everybody back up on the card here. So you can see it looks like one whole card front. But then when you open it, it gives you a little bit of a panel, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit more, to make sure that I have a white border even enough around what I've got going on, and then that way you can see. I don't know, I thought this was kind of neat to do. I haven't done a card quite like this, I don't think. Or if I have, it was a long time ago. I can't remember. I've made so many cards this year and last year that I forget sometimes, Or the birthday cards that I'll make a friend. It's like, oh, I'll go to their house. Oh, this is nice. And it's like, yeah, you made that like last year. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. So I've kind of got to mark all of my cards on the back saying, I made this, yay. It took me a while to do that, but eventually I was able to get a really cool stamp for my birthday, I think it was. My friend Lisa had sent me a stamp that had "With Love from Kate" on it, because her kids had got her one for Christmas, and she thought it was so cool that she sent me one, and I tell you, I don't like to handwrite my name on the back of the cards. I like having a stamp because it saves me so much time. So, Lisa, if you're watching, thanks, you're a lifesaver. So all I'm doing here is just adding a little bit of tape runner and glue to one side of the happy birthday. So that way it doesn't tape itself shut. And then that way when you open it, you get like this neat effect. You'll see here in a minute. So once I've mashed that down, you can see. And because it's kind of bare inside, I'm going to go in with the Scoot and Buy stamp set by Fawn. And I am going to risk everything, and I'm going to hand stamp in some of this Fawn ink. I'm not sure which one I used, but I'll try to remember to leave it in the description box below. So next I've got some high supply crystalline jewels here that I'm just going to plop down on the card just to give it a little bit of more interest and, add a little bling. A subtle bling. I like it. I think it turned out neat. I'm quite happy with, the funfoldness of it. And here you have my finished card on the outside, and then when you open it up on the inside, you have a happy day. So don't forget, stay tuned for episode 4, and as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.